On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And I don't want to start drama. I don't want to start off with drama, but, I want to talk about toxic masculinity today. We did have to halt production for your husband to make a smoothie.
Like, where is he going with this? I know. God, annoying.
Oh, it's just like at any other time, but we're on a schedule.
Sabotage.
He's trying to sabotage your career is what he's trying to do.
Sabotage it.
Typical
male.
Typical man. Oh, just like, you're gonna produce a top podcast right now? Well, actually, I'm just gonna start the blender. How about that?
You're gonna produce the #1 podcast in America. And I'm gonna, before we started recording.
You're going to produce the #1 podcast in America, Land of the Free, Home of the Brave. Your husband has the audacity
which is the program we're recording on.
To hit blend. This is the program. This is the #1 podcast.
I yelled earlier right before we hit record. Actually, we did hit record. It's on this footage.
It's on tape.
I said, quiet on set.
Quiet on set, man.
And then he banged on the door. He said, action.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm going to give it to him.
We'll start when we want to start. No one's going to tell us what to do.
Cisco.
Girl, I'm skies out, thighs out. You guys can't see. You can. I look like I'm not wearing pants right now.
Can I tell you?
Tell me.
I've been wearing shorts.
Me too.
I've been wearing shorts, girl.
Skies out, thighs out, baby.
It is hot as fuck. My head's up. My hair's up in a bun because I just can't handle it. This is how hard. Try being us for a day. We can't run the AC while we're recording and the lights are hot.
This house, I can run the AC.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck you.
Not to be an elitist, but things are a little different around here.
I didn't know I was doing a podcast with the 1%.
Girl, I need the AC on because I had earth-shattering diarrhea after eating Chipotle today. And honestly, it's always a risk with Chipotle, I feel like, personally. I feel like it's a game of roulette every single time.
It is. It's a game of roulette every single time. And it's also a game of roulette whether it's going to be good or not. Because sometimes it fucking hits. When they have, I know it's going to hit. Let me tell you.
Tell me.
Neither of us get meat there. I don't do the meat there.
No.
Oh, I don't really eat. You are staunch vegetarian since you were a little kid. I just am not a big meat eater. Don't like it that much. I do occasionally love a cheeseburger though. But I don't get the meat there. But I always know it's going to hit when they have the green bell peppers. When they have the red or the yellow bell peppers, I don't want any part of it.
Interesting observation, Madison. I agree that some Chipotles hit and some don't. I can name you the good Chipotles and the bad Chipotles. I won't for the sake of time. But the Chipotle I went to today happened to be really close to the gym that I was at. And I got out of my workout. I'm starving. I'm like, I'm going to have a little burrito bowl. Because as a 1%er, the cleaning ladies were at my house. And I was like, I'm going to kill some time because I don't want to get in their way. So I go to Chipotle, get a bowl, I eat it. First of all, there's no AC in this Chipotle.
That's crazy.
No AC in this Chipotle. And I should have known immediately this is going to go awry, but I shoveled down that bowl and drove home and made it to the other bowl just in time. I'll say that.
Oh my God. I'm
but
sorry.
I feel great.
Good?
Yeah.
Cleaned out.
Cleaned out.
I'd rather have it coming out than staying in because,
You notoriously.
I really don't. It's just flying in a Zofran will have you clogged up for a week.
Yeah. People get weird when they travel anyway. Sorry, we're starting with potty talk. God, they're fucking disgusting. I can't believe my dental hygienist told me to listen to this podcast. Now I'm listening and they're talking about bowel movements, you know?
That's funny that you mentioned dental hygiene because I will be talking all about that in our coffin spinner today.
Oh my God, perfect.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have a feeling today is going to be we're on the same level.
Oh, okay.
I think we're on the same level today. Not with our coffin spinners. Mine has nothing to do with yours, but I just mean energy-wise. I think we're really matched up, and I'm grateful to do this podcast with my best friend.
Oh my gosh. Who's that? Just kidding.
And they're joining in 3, 2, 1. You're my best friend in the world, and that's that.
You're my girly. You're my girly, my best friend, my sister, what was
You're
that?
my everything.
No,
You're my everything.
Real Housewives of Orange County. I know this isn't Gossip's Bridal, but Vicky Gunvalson, in one of the seasons, she was like yelling at Tamara. And she's like, "You're my sister. You're my best friend. You can't do this." I don't know. It was crazy. Yeah, we might have to cut that out and maybe put in a clip or something because that was embarrassing.
Oh, okay. So public shame is back. You heard it here.
I love
April 2025 or no 2026.
Girl, let's
none
get
of my
into the
business.
show. Let's stick to the script.
I want to talk about actually off script what I did this past weekend because I had so much fun.
Oh my God, yes, and I was scared for you.
Why? Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll get into it. The champ for my birthday got us tickets to Dollywood and he got us a cabin in Pigeon Forge. And I was so excited. It was so much fun. Such a cute cabin. Dollywood is so cute.
You were saying it's the Diva Knott's Berry Farm. And
yeah.
If you're from Southern California or know about Knott's Berry Farm, that shit made me laugh.
Yeah, I said
it is girly.
It's the Diva Knott's Berry Farm. And that is like a very accurate description. Everyone I've talked to, 3 people, have understood what I meant by that. But we got there super late Friday night. Well, first of all, on the way there, we got to stop at a Buc-ee's. And the champ had never been to Buc-ee's before. So I was so excited to take him because you and I have gotten to go a bunch, especially like when we've traveled through Texas for like the book tour or for tour.
We got to meet Bucky himself. Remember the mascot?
Yeah, there's a picture on my Instagram of us with Bucky. And I look
crazy.
I look post freshly out of rehab, which I feel like right now, actually, because I have 2 Band-Aids on my thumbs. I don't know if you can see.
What does that have to do with rehab?
I don't know. It just is giving like active addiction or something.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so we got to go to Buc-ee's and then we didn't actually get out there to Pigeon Forge or Seaverville where the cabin was until 10 o'clock at night because there's a time change within Tennessee. Part of Tennessee is an hour ahead of the rest of Tennessee. So
I feel like it's like split in half, like horizontally.
Okay. I don't know. It's none of my business.
Okay.
I just know that we jumped time zones and I know that we got to the mountains of Appalachia late at night.
That's what scared me.
I was scared because, yeah, I'd heard I was like texting you guys. I was like, oh my God, we're driving through the mountain right now. And it's like spooky and dark out.
I was Googling. I was like, okay, tell me about the mountain. Because I've heard, like with mimics and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
I Googled how old those mountains were. Those mountains are older than the Atlantic Ocean, like 400 million years old. So there's bound to be something. Not that there's not beautiful people in Appalachia. I understand that. I know that. But in those woods, all I hear are freaky stories.
I don't think it's offensive because I think the people there know the folklore. They're the ones spreading it. That's like where I'm always seeing videos from people and talking about Appalachia and stuff. And I was like, I am not going to look into these woods at night, Diva. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay inside of the cabin and I'm closing the blinds. And so I did, but Dollywood was a whole experience in and of itself. Pigeon Forge, honestly wild. It was the best people watching I've ever had in my life. It was so rowdy. It is like unlike anywhere I have ever seen before in my life. And it was crazy.
Okay. I love that. I'm so happy that you got to go. You love a roller coaster. I'm so happy you got to just experience all of that. But you have to talk about, you told me about a whistling.
I heard whistling.
Okay.
When we were
explain.
driving late at night, I heard whistling. I tried to get the champ to hear it. He's like, I don't hear it. And so I was like, roll down your window. You got to hear it. And he rolled down his window and then it stopped. So I was like, okay, maybe he's here and whistling in the mountains.
I think you maybe are just susceptible to being abducted.
Oh my God. I hope not.
You heard the whistling. This weekend, Cisco and I watched The Best Show. I thought it was such a good, whodunit. It was on Netflix. It was called His and Hers. I keep telling you to watch it because I feel like it takes place in Georgia, in Dahlonega, and it's beautiful and gives me a Tennessee vibe.
Okay. I want to watch it. We just haven't had time.
I know.
But I would like to. I mean, most of the time, like the champ and I, when we watch TV, it's not for a long period of time. And it's also like we have our nightly decompress shows, like Teresa Caputo, Long Island Medium. Like we'll throw on an episode of that. But then it's bedtime. It's lights out. Like we have a strict curfew in this house. Sometimes, like, if I'm still up and, like, I do not want to go to bed, I will go to the guest room upstairs and I will watch, like, Real Housewives on my iPad or something. Mm-hmm. I'm, like, such an iPad kid. I do want to watch that show, but I think he would like it, too. So I want to watch that with him.
It's a good length. It's 6 episodes. See, Cisco and I are opposite. We will fucking hunker down. We are like, all right, we're fucking locked in. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we finished it in 2 nights. We watched 3 episodes a night, and it was just so twist and turny, and I loved it. I wish I could watch it again.
Okay, big fan. Yeah,
I was a big fan.
I will check that out. So Geoff's, I guess that is Madison's recommendation for the week. I'm definitely not going to have time this weekend because my sister and her husband and their kids are coming into town. They land in Nashville at 5 a.m., which is so wild to me.
Oh my God. Well, you'll be up.
I'll be up.
You're an early riser.
Not that early. I'm gonna be tired tomorrow, but so will they. So it all works. Like I'm going on a toddler schedule this weekend, so I'm like, okay, there's gonna be naps. There's gonna be notoriously he hates a nap, but I might need it.
I mean, what was the difference in when I was there? Toddler.
You are a toddler. I didn't
need a nap. I need my bottle.
Tall can. I rarely let you. Let you nap when we're together. I know. I usually adhere to whatever schedule I'm on because you are selfless.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to be like when you're here like, okay, it's nap time. Bye. We can't do anything.
Oh, last night I texted you probably 84 times. I was like on a date at the Cheesecake Factory with the champ and I was like texting you.
Be on your date. Don't
text
me.
I was like texting you as we were walking through the mall because I think of you when I'm at the mall. Oh. Well, and I was actually texting you about, it was work related. It was a work related text, WRT, worked. And it was
nap time.
Girl, nap time I woke up this morning and my text back from you where you were like, oh, I took a nap. And I'm like, okay, that was a 6 hour. That was actually a slumber. That was not a nap. That was a slumber.
No, yeah. It was like 2.5 hours. It was so good. I had a dream that.
Okay, it's giving MLK.
Okay. I had a dream that okay, wait. First of all, I woke up in the middle of the night last night at like 4 a.m.
Okay.
And the only thing that was in my head was fire. And I literally shot out of bed, woke up, fire, and looked around. And the dogs got up and were like walking around. And then I was like, sniffing around like, okay, no fire. Went back to bed. But my nap, I was fully on a date with Nick Cannon. You heard it here. This is the Obituary exclusive. We were going to save it for Gossip's Bridal, but Madison is in a relationship with Nick Cannon. I had huge knockers. And I was it was so good. And I was in this denim dress with it was like a little spaghetti strap and like big boobs. And we were at the movies. Your baby mama number 18. I know. And I love that. I know. Set for life. I'll tell you that. Okay. Down to business, Madison. It's time to get serious. Okay, let's do it. I hate to do this after you just dropped a massive bombshell like that, but... I know. It's fine. It's like you don't even care about my love life. No, I do. It's just you and Nick, everyone knows. Everyone knows. I have an Am I the Asshole that's so perfect for this show. Okay. You're going to agree with me. Okay. Per usual. It says, am I the asshole for eating a croissant in a cemetery? Okay. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Or sorry, for my European croissant. Yeah. You know what I can't
Croissant.
stand? I can't stand when people do that.
I know. Me too.
I had a doctor's appointment today and they told me not to eat or drink anything before it. Worst kind of doctor appointment. Once I got out, I was starving and pretty thirsty, so I went to a supermarket, grabbed a croissant and a bottle of store brand cola, and went to look for somewhere to sit down. The nearest spot I could find that wasn't directly by a busy road was a cemetery. So I went in, walked to some benches, and sat down. I had almost finished eating when a woman, maybe in her 70s, walked past me and asked who I was visiting, if I didn't mind the question. Already annoying. I said I was just eating somewhere quiet, which surprised her. She then told me that I should be ashamed to be so disrespectful and left. I finished eating and drinking before leaving. I can see where she was coming from, and it's possible she was grieving and looking for solidarity, but also I was just eating and it was the closest spot. So am I the asshole for eating a croissant in a cemetery?
Okay, that woman was not looking for solidarity. She was looking for a fucking fight.
Oh, she's looking for a problem.
Mind your own business. The only thing that I think this person did wrong was that they got a store brand cola and not a Diet Coke. But that's, a
Clocked
different
it
story.
Immediately. Different story for a different day. We're not doing RC Cola, okay?
No.
No.
No. It's Diet Coke or nothing.
Yeah, Diet Coke would give me death.
Yeah, or Coca-Cola products. I get the controversial, I know, but
Oh,
come on. You're not the asshole. Why are people so fucking weird and precious about that? No, most people aren't precious about that.
No.
It's like,
that's just a nosy old lady. And you know what you should have said? You should have said, hey, old lady, fuck off.
yeah, you should have said, hey,
Hey, old lady, you soon. You
I was
next.
going to say, I understand this is going to be your home soon, but it's not yet, so fuck off.
Fuck off. Because even if it's like, who cares? I would never be offended over somebody eating in a cemetery where my family is. Like, there's certain things that are absolute no-nos, right? When people walk their dog at a cemetery, letting your dog pee or poop on the grass, fuck that. Don't do that.
See, the grass part doesn't even bother me. It's if it's like a headstone. Like
I just think
you
it's
can walk on the
rude.
grass. I get it. But I know that there are a lot of places that like are very walkable cemeteries.
Well, I'm not talking about like a cemetery that has like a big open, land in between. I'm just thinking of like, even if it was I think it's rude, even if it's just like on the grass in between two tombstones or whatever. That's kind of what I'm picturing.
Okay, I see.
But there's like certain etiquette you follow and you don't. Like, I don't think people should. I'm not getting into the semantics of everything, so stop trying to pull it out of me, public. But
Yeah.
I think it's, when it's annoying and when it's not.
It makes me feel happy if somebody went and had lunch and my family was buried there. Like, okay, keep them company. Or we know that also your loved ones are not there.
No, there's nothing disrespectful about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing disrespectful about
I would
eating a
have knocked
croissant in a
that lady
cemetery.
out.
Yeah. There you go.
Her head would have looked like a croissant after
Yeah.
I was done with her.
Would I be the asshole? This is the second one. Would I be the asshole for asking my girlfriend to take off her necklace?
Okay. Well, what?
Already, okay. Hello, everyone. Here's the obligatory blah, blah, blah. I, 25 male, am happily engaged to my girlfriend / fiance, 24 female. Our wedding is in May, and I only have really one big issue. Her necklace. See, a few years ago when she was 19, she lost a cat that was very near and dear to her heart. She loved this cat, Aspen, so much that she has Aspen's ashes, paw prints, both a clay and ink print, old collar, tattoos, clumps of fur, and lots of pictures. Her necklace is a small silver and glass disc with the cat's face printed onto it, and the ashes are inside. She never takes this necklace off. The only times I've ever seen her take it off is when she's bathing, swimming, or in a situation where the necklace could break. Despite my title, it doesn't bother me. I love to see how dearly she holds this cat to her heart, and part of me is envious I never got to meet this cat, as not only her, but her friends and family speak very highly of Aspen. Now, my issue. My girlfriend, let's call her Kaylee, is wearing a really pretty white pantsuit. I haven't yet seen her in it, but I have seen the pantsuit, as she showed me when she got back from the store with her mom and best friend. She told me she has some gold jewelry she plans to wear with it, since gold looks better on her than silver. So naturally, I asked if she would be wearing her Aspen necklace since it was silver, and she laughed and said, "Of course I'm wearing it. I never take it off unless necessary." At the time, I had just nodded, so I wasn't expecting much else. However, when I mentioned it to my mom at Sunday lunch, my mom's face scrunched up and she said, "Of course she's wearing it." When I asked my mom what she meant, she told me that Kaylee shouldn't wear the necklace, as it would be inappropriate to wear a necklace of a dead cat to a wedding. And she added that the silver of the necklace would look tacky with the gold jewelry she plans to wear.
I hate these people. I'm sitting here like I hate them. Okay.
Since that lunch, I have been able to stop thinking about it, and I'm beginning to wonder if my mom's right. And I'm thinking of asking Kaylee to take the necklace off for the day, but I know how much the necklace means to her, so I'm wondering, would I be the asshole?
Yes, you're a fucking asshole. I think your mom's an asshole too. I think it's crazy that you're that invested in a necklace that your soon-to-be wife is marrying. Get a life.
Also, I'm sorry.
Wearing, I mean, not marrying.
Yeah. I'm excited to get married. I think it's special, and I'm so excited for our wedding. But it's like, there's certain things that are important to people, and if that necklace is important to her, it's one, why do you care? But two, it's like your wedding. Okay, say you're picturing like, well, it's going to be in all the wedding pictures, right? You think of something like that. Nobody cares. Your wedding pictures are for you guys as a couple. Sure, friends, family, whoever are going to be excited to see the pictures of your wedding, but like,
what, he's the fashion police?
But nobody cares about your wedding the way you care about your wedding, right? So it's like, I don't know. If that is what she wears every single day, I guess I don't get why it bothers you, because you're with someone that wears that every single day. You should be used to it.
I just could not imagine like Cisco or the Champ telling me anything. Like, what? You're not allowed to tell me what I'm going to wear. And I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah, like if the Champ had something that was like, oh no, this is so special to me because of X, I'm not going to question it. I mean, yeah, no, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. I'd be like, you got another thing coming if you think you're going to tell me that I can't wear this piece of jewelry. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Yeah, hate it.
Especially because she's not asking opinions. No. Nobody wants your opinion, actually. Wild.
I feel like that's a red flag, actually. I do. I feel like it's like a little thing, but it is the little things that matter.
I think at the end of the day, I'm just like, she wears this every single day. It doesn't bother you on a daily basis. Why does it bother you in a wedding sense?
Because people are weird about death, I guess.
Yeah, I guess actually both those assholes contain people who are just so uncomfortable with the reality of life, which is that we are all gonna die.
Mm-hmm. And we all need a little obituary and a little side bitch.
We do.
Did I do it?
Yeah. Okay, I have one.
Okay.
This one was sent in by a Geoff, and it's from the Paris Express, November 13th, 1913. And that is Paris, Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Home of the Eiffel Tower. And it says, Will's pennies to family. Signer gives his relatives 1 coin each to show they are not forgotten. New York.
Oh.
Richard Signer, who died on November 20th last, left the following bequest in his will to his wife, Mrs. Lizzie Signer, and his 5 children, 1 Lincoln penny each, as marked, to show that I did not forget their presence in this world and in my memory. The testator made his will 3 days less than a year before his death. He left the rest of the estate to my true friend, Mrs. Mary Wilner.
Who's Miss Mary?
Girl, I don't know, but she got the whole estate, and he gave his wife and their 5 children a penny each.
Fuck. My true friend. What?
My true friend, Mrs. Mary Wilner.
That's insane.
Imagine if Cisco dropped dead, right? He
leaves me a
leaves
penny,
you a
and then
penny.
There's
some bitch leaves the rest of his fortune.
Yeah.
The rest of his fortune goes to Some bitch, his true friend. Girl,
Motherfucker.
I'm doing some
fucking everyone up.
galvanic reanimation, bitch.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to bring you back to life, Frankenstyle.
I'm eating
Frankenstein.
croissants over your body.
I'm going to Chipotle and then I'm shitting on your tombstone.
Yeah, I'm fucking you up.
Yeah.
I'm fucking you up, you bitch. You know, there's a book out right now that I really want to read called Strangers.
Okay.
And I think Netflix or Hulu just picked it up to do a show with Gwyneth Paltrow. We were just talking about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Love.
But it's about this like woman who, Babe Paley is her grandmother.
Okay.
Anyway, her parents, she comes from millions of dollars.
Love.
And she marries this guy, 20 years, happy marriage, 3 kids. He ups and leaves her and is like taking half of everything. It's just fucking wild. Sorry, it just reminded me of that. Maybe we could read that for a book club.
That'd be good.
But yeah, it's like apparently a book that everybody should read, and it should be like taught in schools about, you shouldn't pour all your eggs into one basket.
Protect the trust, honey. But also, speaking of book club, we do have a Patreon book club happening every month. Things have gotten a little awry as of late because we've been traveling back and forth, do this, that, the other. But we are reading a book right now called The Mad Wife. So if you want to read it along with us, we're going to do a discussion on it at some point in the next couple weeks here. So that is our current read.
Perfect.
There it is. Sorry, Patreon. We're working on it, okay? We're a work in progress. All right, well, now that I've done my little side bitch, I think I'm going to put us on a quick break. And when we come back, Madison's going to tell us what had her spinning in her coffin.
All righty.
We'll be right back. And we're back. But Madison, before we get to your coffin spinner, I want to talk about some breaking news that I just discovered on our break.
Oh.
And it involves voluntary euthanasia.
Does it?
Yeah. So there was this woman. She was 25 years old. Her name was Noelia Castillo Ramos. And she today voluntarily underwent a euthanasia procedure. The long and the short of it is, well, okay, I guess her mom was like by her side, was so pro it, but her dad was trying to block it from happening because he did not want her to do it.
Oh, no.
And I think it's because her reasoning was severe depression.
Oh.
And so I feel like cases like that tend to have people really divided. Yeah. I mean, this poor young woman, 25 years old, she had made a suicide attempt in the past that left her paralyzed. Oh. And I think after that, it was just like not getting better. It wasn't a situation which I would like to do an episode on. I remember a long time ago watching something on the Golden Gate Bridge and how so many people would like change their mind before, or people who survived it.
I remember that documentary, The Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I saw that.
Sad.
I know. So rest in peace
through?
to her. She did go through with it and passed away today. So
okay, wow.
Anyway,
it is a divided when it's like that. It is. It's a hard thing to grasp.
Yeah, but like again, if somebody, it's not our decision to make.
Right. Totally.
So
wow. Okay.
Anyway.
Breaking news. Thank you for that.
Yes. Sorry, I just had to interject it because I didn't want to. I read it during our break. I read an article on it and I was like, I can't wait till next week to talk about this. I want to say it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, what had me spinning? How do you transition? God.
What did have you spinning in your coffin this week?
Okay. So this week okay. So Spencer, you and I have talked about this. My husband has gold teeth. And
yes.
when he got them, I hated them. And I know you want some too.
Yeah.
I hated them at first. I was like, God, why'd you do that? Like, what? Why? What? Now I love them. Now I'm like, all right, I think I want a silver tooth. And so I think this weekend I'm going to get a mold done to get a little something fun. One of my front teeth is fake. Half of it's fake from a tetherball accident. It was terrible. I was in the 4th grade. Knocked it the fuck out. And I have to get it replaced anyway at some point because it's gross and like, I don't know, it turns purple and it's just a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's not good. So I'm like, okay, I'll have a little fun with it for a little while. Anyway, I then stumbled across this phenomenon with teeth. And so it made me think. So I was like, okay, what if we, the Geoffs and us, were all doing an autopsy?
Uh-huh.
And we opened up a corpse's mouth and they had pink teeth.
Love,
right? But like not a fake pink tooth, not a fun little trend, not a cap, but their teeth had literally turned pink.
Diva tooth. Diva teeth.
Diva teeth. Well, this is a real phenomenon. It's something that has been documented by forensic investigators for nearly 200 years, which is
Pink teeth.
Pink teeth. And I'll have pictures and everything. It's known as the pink teeth phenomenon or post-mortem pink teeth. And like I said, it's extremely well documented, but it's very, very rare. And it seems to usually appear near the gum line. And I went searching for photos and found a bunch. I ended up paying $16 for this fucking forensic journal thing so I could get pictures. But it's pretty. Like, it starts pretty deep at the gum line and then kind of ombres down into this like pretty rosy color. Some of them are like a salmon color, but it's pretty. So, of course, I was like, well, why does this happen?
Yeah.
And in order to explain that, I have to explain teeth. And I was like, first of all, I love teeth. Spencer, you've given me a pair of your teeth. When we were on tour, people gave me some of their teeth. I have my dog's baby teeth. I have Cisco's teeth. I have siblings' teeth. I don't know what it is. I think it might be trauma from when I knocked out my front tooth. Maybe I just want to hold on to teeth. I don't know what it is. But I was like on Colgate's website. I was on all these
Well,
websites.
remember the episode we did on teeth?
On like exploding teeth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a wild phenomenon too.
Crazy.
I know. I wish I would have known about pink teeth because that would have been a good
pairing.
Okay, but teeth. So every tooth inside of a tooth has something called a pulp chamber, which feels very ominous. But the pulp chamber contains nerves and tissue and blood vessels. I have a whole diagram I'll put up. But around that pulp is a layer called dentin. And so I had to go fucking look up what the hell dentin was. And on Colgate's website, they talk about dentin and dentin tubules. Also, sorry to side note again, when I was writing this, I kept remembering an Oprah episode. I went on Oprah's website and they have like a whole rundown of it. But basically, Oprah had a bunch of people on her show. Rest in peace to that show. I fucking missed that show. But she had a bunch of people on who had different jobs. And the whole thing was like the pursuit of happiness. They had a funeral director on there. They had a dentist on there. They had a bunch of different people. And the funeral director's like happiness score was really high. And the dentist wasn't that high. And there is this thing about how
I talked about that on that tooth episode. I think they have like the highest suicide rate out of any profession.
It's so sad.
It is.
Like, so unhappy. So don't go into orthodontics.
If you're a dentist listening or of the dentist job, we hope that you're happy.
Yeah, we do. We hope that you're happy because I hated you as a little kid.
See, I never had like a fear of dentists. Never hated it. Even the drilling, none of it ever bothered. Not going to the doctors. I do.
But see, I was a silver tooth kid.
Oh, okay.
I had caps, open my mouth, it's silver. And I know I've told this before, but I had a dentist and his name is Dr. French. And I used to bite him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I used to bite down on his fingers so hard that he'd have to plug my nose so I would open my mouth. Oh. I know. I hated it.
You were Dennis the Menace.
Dentist.
Dentist the Menace.
Yeah. So there's that. Anyway, dentin. Dentin has microscopic tubules, and they are little things that run through the tooth, like a bunch of little wires. And so after death, blood vessels start to break down and red blood cells rupture, and hemoglobin, which is the red pigment in blood, starts to leak into the surrounding tissues. So sometimes that pigment will seep into your tooth, will seep into like your dentin from your gums.
Okay.
Which lies right under your enamel, so the red color can show through looking pink.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the tooth itself hasn't like changed in any way, but it's actually just blood pigment that is trapped inside of your tooth, making your teeth pink.
Yeah.
So because this phenomenon is pretty rare, it obviously doesn't happen with every single death. It appears under very specific conditions. Forensic researchers have noticed that it mostly happens in bodies that were found submerged in water, buried in very moist soil, or in very humid conditions.
Okay, so something about like the wetness draws it?
Yes.
Huh.
I was also reading this thing on ScienceDirect.com that I'll reference a couple times throughout this. It's linked, but they mentioned carbon monoxide poisoning, and I'll talk about that story shortly. But yeah, moisture does seem to help the blood pigment like travel through the dentin, but it's also seen in deaths involving drowning, strangulation, and suffocation. But pink teeth don't automatically prove a cause of death. It's just like a clue to, okay, maybe that's what happened. But two people can die under very similar circumstances, and only one might develop pink teeth. It could have something to do with age, environment, and things like your individual structure of your dentin in your tooth, and also how much blood was in your head at the time of death. It's very interesting. It just is a weird thing that sometimes happens. I do want to quote from that Science Direct article. It says, quote, "The postmortem pink teeth phenomenon remains a complex and enigmatic finding in forensic science. While it does not conclusively indicate a specific cause of death, understanding its occurrence can aid forensic investigations. Further research is needed to elucidate this phenomenon's mechanisms and validate its forensic relevance." So it's kind of a clue, but we just still don't really know. Also, timing is important and pretty strange. I guess it doesn't appear right after death. It usually appears like 2 to 4 weeks after death. The blood seeps in, especially if the environment is humid. And also it seems like the color tends to just show up strongly in the front teeth. I was reading teeth that only have one root and not two. Like, I guess like your molars have 2 roots, but like your front teeth and like your incisors have 1 root. So it usually happens in a 1 root thing. The first person to describe this was a British surgeon, and he was also like a dental researcher, and his name was Thomas Bell, which I was searching through my notes. I'm like, I feel like I'm sure referenced him before, but I'm not sure. I couldn't find anything. But he first described this in 1829. I guess at the time he was studying human anatomy and teeth, and he started noticing that some dead bodies had teeth that looked pinkish or like a salmon color.
Okay.
And he noticed that it was in victims who had died by drowning or hanging. He documented his observations in early medical text, which I found on ScienceDirect.com. He said, quote, "I have frequently examined the teeth of persons whose death has been occasioned by hanging or drowning, and have almost invariably found the whole of the skeletal part, i.e. the dentin, colored with a deep red. In both instances, the enamel remains wholly free from discoloration." But as we know, they didn't have the tools or the knowledge that we have today and the forensics to really explain what was happening. It was just like a bizarre thing. So it wasn't talked about again for another 100 plus years, which this brings me to the carbon monoxide. And I'm wondering if you know this story. I'm sure you've covered it, but in 1953, there was a serial killer. He was one of England's most notorious serial killers. His name was John Christie.
Yes.
Okay, have you done an episode on him?
Yes.
Okay, very fucking interesting.
Uh-huh.
Quickly, he murdered at least 8 people between 1943 and 1953, mostly women, even his wife he murdered, and he would hide the bodies like all around his home. There's a movie about it called 10 Rillington Place.
Yes. Yes. I think they called him like the Rillington Place maniac or something. Yeah, there was, okay. So there was, I have my notes actually on him.
Oh my God, tell us. Okay.
So, I mean, obviously I can't give you the whole
yeah.
whole episode. Go find the cult leader on it. It's from 2021, so it's been 5 years.
Oh my God. Okay.
But I guess I'm like scrolling through my notes on him right now. Dating back to his school years, John was given the unfortunate nickname of Reggie No Dick and Can't Do It Christie because of an apparent lack of impotence.
Didn't know that. Okay.
And I know later in life there was like a thing where he could only come if he was with a sex worker. His lack of sexual ability, I think, led to a life where he just hated women. Okay. And I think that's kind of what it was rooted in. But he got in all sorts of trouble when he was younger. He went to jail in 1923, got out in 1924 for some, I think, money laundering stuff.
And then I know he was like he fought in World War I and then was like a World War II officer or something. Yeah.
And then there was an incident where he was hit by a car and he had long had hypochondria and it like sparked this
He lost his ability to speak.
It's like part of what led to his downfall. And that was actually before I think he had served in the army. But yeah, basically had seen sex workers throughout his whole fucking life because again, it was the only way that he could get off.
Yeah, he seemed like a fucking monster.
Oh, he was a monster.
I read that the way he was caught, like finally, was because he moved out of that property and a new tenant moved in and found bodies in the wall.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, cult leader John Christie. I just want to be able to tell people what. Oh, yeah. So there's an episode. It came out January 26, 2021. It's called John Christie, Rillington Place Maniac. And I tell the full story on there, but it's a wild story. Okay, wait, why do you bring him up?
Okay, yeah, well, no, go listen because now I want to go listen. Now I'm intrigued by this guy, but his victims all died by strangulation and or carbon monoxide poisoning or gas poisoning. And one of the bodies showed the same bizarre dental discoloration.
Oh, no shit.
Described back in the 1800s. Yeah, one of them had the pink teeth, which this led scientists at the London hospital to study the phenomenon in detail. So interesting. And it confirmed that the color came from hemoglobin pigments seeping into the dentin of the tooth after death. So I bring that whole thing up because it wasn't referenced again since the 1800s until this serial killer was caught.
Got it. Okay. Interesting.
I know. Oh, and linking carbon monoxide to possibly the pink teeth as well.
Yes.
But there are other stories like in the 1980s in Japan, there's a case that was like frequently cited. There was an adult male body recovered from a river and they were underwater for several weeks. Decomposition was already like pretty advanced at that point. And I read like there was skin slippage, which always freaks me out.
Yeah.
But there was an autopsy done and the upper incisors were pink. And again, it was near the gum line and then faded towards the tip. So researchers believe that it was due to like being in the water for a long period of time. There's also a few documented cases of pink teeth that were observed in instances of hanging. There's a European study that's cited pretty often. And this case is of a body of a man who died by suicide and was discovered about 2 weeks after his death. He was hanging inside, so he wasn't exposed to the elements, but he had pink teeth. They were saying like it was likely due to the pooling of blood in his neck and face. And we know when someone hangs, blood pools. Sometimes it's a little, more down south.
Well, priapism.
Priapism, yes. Then, like I said, I paid $16 to access the Journal of Forensic Sciences, Volume 67, Issue 3, to look at some more studies and see more pictures. And I sent you this one, pictures from this. There are a few that are really pretty, where like the whole tooth is like a rosy light pink color.
Let me
It's B.
see. Oh.
Pretty, right?
Yeah.
But in that journal, they talk about how they observed 324 cadavers that were given autopsies. And this was between a 6-year period from 2015 to 2021. And 68 of those autopsies they noticed had the pink teeth.
Huh.
And I was reading, like, I think most of them were under the age of 60. 180 of them died indoors or were found indoors. 61 of them were found outdoors, and 83 of them were in water. And then that journal also talks about a shipwreck where there were 52 victims and 18 of them had pink teeth.
Interesting.
Girls, I was like really up in these journals. So then I went over to medicinaoral.com and they had a PDF that I could download. I should not be able to be on the internet because I'm going to download shit and I'm going to pay for stuff. They said in this, and I sent you the picture of this next one. It's like a full cadaver's face.
Yeah.
They said, quote, the body of a man who was kidnapped and murdered about 30 days before the autopsy was examined. His decomposed body was found buried in a house under a humid soil. The corpse was in advanced decomposition and putrefaction. Autopsy findings revealed a wire around his neck. And the full autopsy, the pictures and everything, he has the pink teeth.
Yeah. Huh.
There was on sciencepublishinggroup.com. There was a whole PDF also that I was going through, and it was a case where someone hanged themselves, and it showed the body hanging and the autopsy. You don't have to go look because I'll tell you about it. The cadaver had pink teeth, but also they include a picture of this person's hand, and the person had one pink nail.
Oh.
It was like a hot pink nail. And they reference in it pink nail phenomenon, which feels like that makes more sense to me. Like I would feel like blood would go to the nails. Anyway, in it, you read further on. I sent you the picture, but they scratched at the nail with a scalpel and the pink came off. So it was just pink nail polish.
Oh.
That I thought that was interesting.
Interesting. Well, pink teeth.
Yeah, pink teeth. It's like it has to be very, very, very specific conditions, it seems like. And it also seems like it has to do with the individual's tooth structure and their dentin. We'll never know.
The more you know.
I think they're pretty.
Love it. A little dazzle. Razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
All right. Well, thank you for that dental lesson, Madison. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'll tell you what had me spinning in my coffin this week.
All righty.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, girly, it was actually a wild journey to get to my coffin spinner today. I had the idea saved forever in my notes, but what really prompted it was a recent trip to Trader Joe's because I'm there. I'm checking out. I look down. Without fail, there's always a recall on something at Trader Joe's.
I know.
And there was some fried rice that I had actually bought last week, and that was in the picture. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, great. What is it? And there's fucking glass in it, which is not the first time that I've seen that. I haven't opened it yet.
Oh, good.
I'm notoriously somebody who does not return things because I'm just like, I'm gonna fucking remember it. Like, I don't know. I'm the person that I'm like, oh, I'm going to bring this bag of clothes to the Goodwill. And then it sits in my car for a year.
Yeah.
But like Trader Joe, I'm speaking directly to you.
Okay.
You are always recalling something and it makes me
know.
concerned because I'm like, are you just really doing your due diligence and other big stores are not? Or what's going on?
tea?
Why is there glass in the food all the time?
Trader Joe's, Trader Jose, Trader Jacques, Trader whoever.
Yeah.
Because they have all those.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Get it together.
I love you, but God.
Yes.
I know.
Anyway, It reminded me of this story, and I decided I was going to explore the wild history of a little phenomenon known as glass delusion.
What's that?
Well, as we know, throughout history, Geoffs, there have been plenty of different public hysterias. There's shared manias, folie à deux type situations, and while past episodes about the laughing epidemic or the dancing plague of 1518 were certainly outlandish, I don't think any of them hold a candle to glass delusion, which...
No way. Are you serious?
It is a psychiatric disorder in which people feared that they were made of glass.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin.
Okay, fuck. All right. That's bizarre.
Bizarre. We have several cases that I want to discuss, but first I want to get into kind of the why behind it. So glass delusion itself really rose to prominence between the 15th and 17th centuries, and that is because glass was such a hot commodity. It was expensive. It was something that was associated with the wealthy, the elite, which is why most of the cases we're talking about involve a member of the upper echelon. We're talking high society, baby.
Oh, love it. Okay.
Researchers in those times wrote short stories like in the 1600s and stuff, and essays about people who suffered from glass delusion. In one of his novels, a famed Spanish writer named Miguel de Cervantes, who, by the way, is credited with writing the first modern novel, he wrote a short story about a guy who gets really depressed and is poisoned, and he becomes bedridden for 6 months. And then when he comes out of it, he's like, my body is made of glass. And eventually he gets healed by a monk. It's this whole fucking story. And then in 1621, someone named Robert Burton wrote in his famed book called The Anatomy of Melancholy, which I want to read so bad, by the way. He wrote, quote, fear of devils, death, that they shall be so sick of some such or such disease, ready to tremble at every object, they shall die themselves forthwith, or that some of their dear friends or near allies are certainly dead. Imminent danger, loss, disgrace still torment others, that they are all glass. That's just part of a quote. So going back, this today, glass delusion would be categorized as more of an anxiety disorder or possibly psychosis. But the reason that it seems to have been so common amongst the wealthy was because there's this notion people had of like, I am so important that I could potentially be made of glass and I could break. And
I'm so precious.
Yeah, I'm so precious.
Oh, fuck.
There are some variations of the disorder I saw, though. Some people thought that their entire bodies were made of glass. Others thought their bones were made up of glass rods and would just shatter at the touch.
Scary.
So they're basically like, don't fucking touch me because I will literally break. And if you think people are fragile today, it's nothing in comparison to what these people were acting like out there. It's just crazy. So we're going to get into some documented cases now. My favorite and one of the most well-documented cases of glass delusion surrounds King Charles VI, who was once nicknamed the Beloved in France. Later, he was referred to as Le Fol, aka the Mad, because, girl, he was off. He was off. Okay. Yeah. So he took the throne when he was just 11 years old. And throughout his 53 years of life, he battled a plethora of different mental illnesses.
It's 11.
11. But it's later been said that it was likely, very likely, that he was just schizophrenic because they believe that ran in his bloodline. It seems like the first ever event to really set off his bouts of madness. He had a friend who was almost murdered, almost assassinated. And I guess shortly afterward, King Charles was like running around saying crazy shit. There was a period of time where he couldn't remember his own name and completely didn't know that he was the ruling king. And also there was an occasion where his wife came to visit him one day. He was just like, who the fuck are you?
Oh.
I don't know who you are. But then it would like come back.
Oh, so
there
wasn't like a dementia or like...
No.
Yeah.
Also, for a period of 5 months, he refused to bathe or change out of his clothes. So he's Stinky King. Stinky King.
Stinky King.
But he's most well known for suffering from glass delusion. He wouldn't let anyone near him, and he would remain completely still for long periods of time because he's like, I'm gonna shatter. And it's sad, but it's also wild because I picture like if we were servants in his castle or something, we'd be like talking to the other servants like, girl, here he goes again. He is just frozen.
Girl, I'm gonna touch him. I'm gonna touch him.
Girl, don't do it. Go pretend to drop. Pretend you're like you're gonna fall into him.
Girl. Oh, we'd fuck with him.
But he took some serious precautions, even reportedly having iron rods that were sewn into his clothing because he believed it would help keep him from breaking.
Fuck.
And he died at the age of 53. Nowhere specifies how he died. I think he just had a fever and succumbed to it, or maybe he was glass. Now we're going to shift our focus onto another royal, Princess Alexandra of Bavaria. And this might actually be the wildest story that we talk about because Geoff's girly. The princess was a true OCD gal, okay? She only wore white clothes. She was obsessed with cleanliness, kind of the opposite of Charles. Stinky king. Anyway, at some point in her early 20s, I think when she was 23 years old, she convinces herself that when she was a young girl, she had swallowed an entire piano that was made of glass.
Okay, what the fuck is going on? All right.
Just one day, out of the blue, she's like, yeah, I think when I was little, I probably swallowed an entire piano made of glass. She believed that the piano was still inside of her body and that if she made any abrupt movement, it would shatter inside of her and kill her.
Oh my God. Okay.
She too did not want to be touched. She would walk around all sketched out like, girl, I cannot fuck up my posture. Nobody bump into me or the piano is going to play. So she's just like rigid walking around.
Fuck, imagine swallowing a piano.
Damn. But she was also super well liked. She was super educated, a fantastic writer, and lived a relatively normal life, they say. But she was secretly just dealing with these erratic thoughts. And I'm like, okay, same. It's just like the shit that goes on in our heads.
I know.
She died when she was 49 years old, but her death is just listed as natural causes, which I guess could be for the time. Or glass shatter noise.
Yeah.
I was curious though. I'm like, okay, are there any recent cases of this, or was this just something that happened back that
hysteria.
Yeah. And there are there's a recent-ish case. There's a Dutch psychiatrist named Andy Lemien who documented a patient in the 1960s actually who believed that his body was fully made of glass. He was terrified of any sort of physical contact with his body. But there's a twist here. He didn't pad himself or avoid any movement. He just continued this daily life somewhat normally, but had this intense internal fear that he could just shatter at any moment. And I know there is an actual disease, though. There is an actual disease where people's bones are so fragile that they will just like break. I forget what the actual term is, but this is more obviously of like a mental disorder.
Why is my only image them bathing in Windex?
It's the glass cleaner. Yeah.
I know.
Well, a lot of them would walk around with like a pillow, I guess, too, to like sit on because they were like, if I sit on a hard surface, my butt is gonna break.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, so as I mentioned, that was because glass was kind of a rarer commodity at the time. But as other materials popularized throughout history and the centuries that followed, there have been similar sequences of events involving those components. There was an article on BBC.com that said in the 19th century, cement delusions started to appear. And there were several cases because cement was starting to be used as like a building material. There's a few people who had these delusions that there was cement inside of their bodies, which is so wild.
Which now some people do have cement in their bodies when they get those
those false
Those-
injections.
Yeah.
And they're going to Teeth by Becca to get their veneers.
Oh, autopsies in the next 100 years are going to be wild.
Wild. They're going to be like,
Now, what is this?
now what is in here, actually?
Everybody's veneers, too. They're like little teeth that were
Yeah.
shaved down. Damn.
Oh, that is going to be a weird finding one day when they're like, this tooth is kind of loose, and they pull it out and it's just a little spike. They're going to be like, vampires existed. Oh, God. So that is Glass Delusion in a
My
nutshell.
God, how scary.
I know.
That is, I mean, I don't mean to laugh because it's a real, it was obviously a mental illness,
Uh-huh.
but fuck, what a shame to get that one, man.
Oh, I'll take mine any day.
I'll take my OCD about
Yeah.
things being locked and all that.
Uh-huh.
I'll take that over feeling like my body is glass. See,
I
I have
know.
the opposite. I feel like my body is a tank. It kind of is.
Not those ankles, though, girl.
I know, not the ankles, but God, my stomach, I can eat anything.
True. Well, there you have it. Let's move into maybe some obituaries.
Let's do it. After all of my research, I was in the lab, all those journals and everything, all those autopsies I was looking at, I needed just a nice obituary. And I found one just organically. I just love how this is written, and I feel like it just tells a good story of this man. So this is for Harry Stamps, December 19th, 1932 to March 9th, 2013. It says, Harry Weathersby Stamps, ladies' man, foodie, natty dresser, and accomplished traveler, died on Saturday, March 9th, 2013. Harry was locally sourcing his food years before chefs in California started using cilantro and arugula, both of which he hated. For his signature bacon and tomato sandwich, he procured 100% all-white bunny bread from Georgia, blue plate mayonnaise from New Orleans, Sawyer's black pepper from Virginia, homegrown tomatoes from outside Oxford, and Tennessee's Benton bacon from his Bacon of the Month subscription. As a point of pride, he purported to remember every meal he had eaten in his 80 years of life. The women in his life were numerous. He particularly fancied smart women. He loved his mom, Wilma, who, with the help of his sisters and cousins in New Hebron, reared Harry after his father Walter's death when Harry was 12. He worshipped his older sister, Lynn, a character in her own right, and her daughter, Linda. He married his main squeeze, Anne, a home economics teacher, almost 50 years ago, with whom they had two girls, Amanda and Allison. He taught them to fish, to select a quality hammer, to love nature, and to just be thankful. He took great pride in stocking their toolboxes. One of his regrets was not seeing his girl, Hillary Clinton, elected president, which I have news for you. She's on trial for other stuff. He had a lifelong love affair with deviled eggs, Lane cakes, boiled peanuts, Vienna sausages on saltines, his homemade canned fig preserves, pork chops, turnip greens, and buttermilk served in martini glasses garnished with cornbread. He excelled at growing camellias, rebuilding houses after hurricanes, eradicating mole crickets from his front yard, composting pine needles, living within his means, outsmarting squirrels, never losing a game of competitive sickness, and reading any history book he could get his hands on. He loved to use his oversized old man remote control, which thankfully survived Hurricane Katrina, to flip between watching the Barefoot Contessa and anything on the History Channel. He took extreme pride in his two grandchildren, Harper and William, for whom he would crow like a rooster on their phone calls. As a former government and sociology professor for Gulf Coast Community College, Harry was thoroughly interested in politics and religion and enjoyed watching politicians act like preachers and preachers act like politicians. He was fond of saying a phrase he coined, I'm not running for political office or trying to get married when he was speaking the truth. He also took pride in his service during the Korean conflict, serving the rank of corporal, just like Napoleon, as he would say. He took fashion cues from no one. His signature everyday look was all his. A plain pocketed t-shirt designed by the fashion house Fruit of the Loom. His black label elastic waist shorts worn above the navel and sold exclusively at Sam's on Highway 49. And a pair of old school wallabies. Who can even remember where he got those? That were always paired with a grass-stained MSU baseball cap. Harry traveled extensively. He only stayed in the finest quality AAA-rated campgrounds, his favorite being Indian Creek outside Cherokee, North Carolina. He always spent the extra money to upgrade to a creek view for his tent. Many years later, he purchased a used pop-up camper for his family to travel in style, which spoiled his daughters for life. He despised phonies, his 1969 Volvo, which he also loved, know-it-all Yankees, Southerners who used the words veranda and porte-cochere to put on airs, eating grape leaves, Law and Order, all franchises, Cats, and Martha Stewart. In reverse order, he particularly hated daylight savings time, which he referred to as the devil's time. It is not lost on his family that he died the very day that he would have had to spring his clock forward. This can only be viewed as his final protest. Because of his irrational fear that his family would throw him a golf-themed funeral, despite his hatred for the sport, his family will hold a private family-only service, free of any type of theme. And then it lists all of that. And then it says, finally, the family asks that in honor of Harry, that you write your congressman and ask for the repeal of daylight saving time.
Yeah.
Harry wanted everyone to get back on the Lord's time.
Amen. Rest in peace, Harry. What a guy.
What a guy. I feel like he was a Renaissance man.
Oh, yeah. Well, my obituary left me with some questions this week, Madison. I think there needs to be an investigation. I'm going to say that.
Oh, shit. Okay.
This is from the Bryan Weekly Eagle, and the headline read 3 cremated, so obviously caught my attention. This is from Thursday, November 17th, 1904. Auburn, California, November 11th. The residence of Julius Weber was burned Thursday night, and with it, Mrs. Weber, Miss Bertha Weber, and Master Paul Weber. It is thought that the remains of Mr. Weber will be found in the debris. Suspicious wounds were found on the little boy in the shape of cuts on the head. A bullet wound was found in the mother's breast. There was blood on her clothing. Miss Weber's body was badly burned, but no wounds were visible. If the husband and father was burned, no one is left to tell the tale, as the only other surviving member of the family, Adolf Weber, aged 20, was not at home.
Oh, it was a full murder.
Full murder. Oh, I'm like, it was either him or it was the dad, because they didn't find his body, but they just assumed he died in the fire. Isn't that strange?
That's scary.
I know. But also in that same paper, I found this little blurb I had to share because it said sunk to his chin. And it said, New York, November 11th, Peter Johnson, a resident of Hoboken, has narrowly escaped a living death in a swamp near his home. He had sunk to his chin in quicksand when rescued. Johnson started out in the darkness to investigate a fire not far from home. He unwittingly walked into a place known as the Bottomless Swamp, where several persons have met death. Before realizing his peril, he was caught and continued to sink rapidly. By screaming wildly for help, he aroused several persons living nearby, and they procured a rope. A noose was formed, and repeated attempts were made to cast it over to the victim. Johnson continued to disappear at a rapid rate, and soon only one arm remained free. A lucky throw by one of the rescuers finally encircled the upraised arm, and Johnson got the rope around his shoulder and was drawn out. It required the united efforts of 6 men to do this. However, they worked nearly an hour. Johnson collapsed from fright when he reached dry ground and was taken to a hospital. So he survived, but he got stuck in quicksand.
Dude, quicksand was a big deal.
Wasn't that a big fear? I mean, that sounded like something like, oh, we're going to watch the fuck out for that.
If I saw somebody in quicksand today, I'd be like, this is a prank. This is not real.
Oh, I'd say
Where are
good
the
luck.
cameras?
I'm not getting in there.
No, mama.
I'll try and toss you the rope, but I'm no
No,
cowboy.
No. God. Have we talked about quicksand on this show? We should do.
We should do. We should do.
it.
We should do.
We should do.
We should do.
Yeah, we should do.
We should do. Well, I know what we should do next, and that is talk about some crazy people. Not like my coffin spinner. We have spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
That means it's time for some dumb
As
criminals. Who you got?
All right. I have one that was sent in to us that I saw it right as it came in and then deleted it because I didn't want you to see it.
You little scoundrel.
And it's crazy. It says, howdy hoochies and hot dog. I'm a longtime listener of the pod, and it's my favorite podcast to listen to. For a while, I'd been hoping I'd have an excuse to email y'all, and the opportunity has finally presented itself. While I live in Dallas proper, this happened in Denton County, Texas.
Denton.
What's Denton? Have we been there?
Your coffin spinner.
Denton.
Hello. Yes.
Oh my gosh, cool. I didn't even realize that. I'm not sure if this is a side bitch or a dumbass criminal, but I'll let y'all be the judge. Here's the link to the article. Keep kicking ass and taking names. Love y'all, Monica.
Thanks, Monica.
Monica, this is fucking crazy. It almost was a coffin spinner, okay? This is from WFAA.com from a few days ago. It says, Bartonville, Texas. A 41-year-old man is in custody after reportedly stealing a corpse from a mausoleum in a Denton cemetery and throwing its remains into the parking lot of an FBI field office. Okay? Police say. The suspect, Michael Chadwick Fry, has been charged with abuse of a corpse, a state jail felony, according to the Bartonville Police Department. According to the arrest affidavit, the suspect's mother had called the police Monday afternoon and told them her son had asked for money to pay for a U-Haul. But when she asked him why he needed a U-Haul, he reportedly said he had a body that needed to be moved. Fry reportedly then became irate and left the home, the affidavit stated, prompting the mother to call 911. Police put out a bulletin for Fry, and shortly afterward, Fry's sister reached out to the police. Fry had reportedly filmed himself on YouTube at the FBI field office in Dallas and titled the video, "We send Elizabeth over the FBI fence to summon them by the force." Is that fucking crazy?
Dumbass, yeah.
According to the affidavit, the video reportedly shows Fry claiming they are trying to get the FBI's attention by throwing Elizabeth's remains over the fence.
That's not how you do that.
That's not how, well, you do get their attention.
Well, yeah.
They fucking arrest you. Goes on, Fry then reportedly throws a large white bucket closed over the fence into the FBI building's parking lot in the video. An FBI special agent then called police and then told them the bucket contained several bones that appeared to be human. In two other shorts videos on Fry's YouTube channel, the affidavit states Fry can reportedly be seen with a human skull in his home in Bartonville. The skull reportedly appeared to have dirt and hair still connected. According to the affidavit, Fry reportedly calls the skull Elizabeth Virginia Lyon. Police believe the bones in the bucket and the skull are from the same human remains. Denton County jail records show Chadwick is currently booked in the Denton County jail and has a $30,000 bond. And then it says, 8 years ago, Fry was also arrested in Dallas after reportedly ramming a pickup truck into the Fox 4 News building. So troubled, and he is trying to get people's attention.
Well, he's doing it.
He's doing it. Scary. Dumbass.
Yeah, definitely a dumbass. Well, I have a dumbass criminal this week that I feel like is us. It is from Friday, July 30th, 1909. This was in the Beaumont Journal. And It says, 2 women, 2 hilarious. arrested for noise making and were fined this morning. Last evening, Myrtle Carter and Maddie Williams came from Spindletop with so much effervescence in stock that they had to let off the superfluity in yells and shouts loud enough to make a lot of rah-rahs returning from a football game seem as quiet as a black alpaca coat, whatever that means. It appears that there is a neutral piece of ground near Spindletop that is not within the city limits and is not within the prohibition district of Spindletop. There are about 200 acres that the wet and dry issues never touched, and it's just like having your fingers crossed when on thin ground. And it was somewhere around there that Myrtle and Maddie celebrated. And when the pair got into the city limits, they were amenable and were arrested and had to pay $14.70 each. They were just too much of a good time, girl. They were just laughing.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Myrtle.
God love them.
God love them. I'm like, I would love to see their mugshot because I guarantee they were probably laughing in it.
They were probably laughing the next day when the newspaper came out. Like, girl, we are in this newspaper. Can you
in the
believe
paper, girl. They're lucky. I mean, this was 1909. If this was a century before, they could have been paraded around town in a gossip's bridle for all we know.
I know. Hey.
Which, speaking of, we have new episodes of our show, Gossip's Bridle, where we talk about pop culture and housewives and things like that. That comes out every Saturday on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Obituary comes out every Thursday. Cult Leader comes out every Tuesday and Friday. Girl, we are on the rounds. We are everywhere you listen and watch, except for real TVs. Well, you can put YouTube on your TV, I guess.
Oh, yeah. That's a real TV.
Yeah.
Nobody has cable anymore.
Nobody has cable anymore. Put us on the silver screen. But that is where we're going to wrap things up for the week. So we will see you next week for some more coffin spinners.
And obituaries.
And dumb
ass
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.